Hey everybody! The Sega Dreamcast sometimes feels simultaneously ahead of its time and behind the times. One thing's for sure, it was Sega's swan song farewell to the console hardware race. The system experienced relatively low sales, and thus many of the games discontinued production, and very few titles ever flooded the market. Many games also seemed to fit niche genres and small audiences. That being said, the Dreamcast now has many games that often sell for $100 and up to collectors. So I priced out the top 10 games on major retailers like Lukey Games, eStarland, as well as price charting, and then checked the overlap between all three sites and finally compared that list to games I actually have. One last thing, I disregarded things like collector's editions because the game itself isn't any more valuable or different. So here are 5 of the most insanely rare and expensive Sega Dreamcast games in my collection. Before we get started, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe by the end of the video if you enjoy this list. Number 5, Mars Matrix. Developed by Capcom and Takumi, it's a shoot-'em-up, or shmup game, with 2 different vehicle types of different agility and power. As you defeat enemies, you rack up in-game currency, which can be spent on everything from guides on beating levels more efficiently, to extra lives and continue credits for future playthroughs. Mars Matrix gets an average asking price around the internet of about $136.04. Number 4, Gigawing, developed by Capcom, is a shmup that features a great deal of story, and in particular seems to feature story arcs that develop between the characters selected for your playthrough. The game also features unlimited continues, which is a lifesaver for people like me who are pathetic at shoot-'em-ups. Gigawing averages $138.94 asking price at retail. Number 3, Ill Bleed was developed by Sega and is actually the only non-Capcom game to appear on today's list. It's a third-person horror game featuring a haunted circus type of experience, where you as the player work your way through several different haunted house-like courses to rescue your friends. Each time you rescue a friend, you essentially have another chance to get through the remainder of the trap-infested horror houses. Think of it a little bit like Saw meets Maniac Mansion. There's a lot to take in, and just a brief description in a video like this doesn't do it justice. You're going to need to play more of this game to experience all it has to offer. Playing Ill Bleed, however, may not be as easy as it sounds, as it fetches an average of $140.30. Gigawing 2, this time a Capcom Takumi co-developed shoot-'em-up, more like Mars Matrix rather than the original Gigawing. There is once again story development found in Gigawing 2, this time surrounding the squad of characters in the game, and not seemingly specific to the characters the players choose, but it still provides the same unlimited continues and many forgiving features that make the Gigawing series difficult, but still more approachable for players new to shmups than something like Mars Matrix. Gigawing 2 commands a whopping $237.45, although that average price is pulled upwards by a drastically higher price on Lukey Games than on other outlets. Number 1, Cannon Spike. Developed by Capcom and Psycho, Cannon Spike plays like a twin-stick shooter. You get an isometric overhead view. The game features crossover characters from tons of Capcom properties, including Super Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha, Mega Man, obviously, and more. Bad guys flood in, and it's your job to shoot everything in sight. Using the lock-on mechanic makes things much easier, considering the lack of a second analog stick. And the player's melee move is pretty powerful and can help clear enemies quickly, even if it tends to put them in a dangerous position. Cannon Spike comes in at an average price of $244.89, again helped by Lukey Games' outrageous asking price of nearly $400. Almost double anyone else's asking price. A quick reminder, this list isn't necessarily the top 5 most valuable Dreamcast games in existence, just the top 5 that I actually own. Also, during much of my research, price charting was consistently far lower, so whether that means the overall price of Dreamcast games is coming down, or the retailers are just out of touch in what they're asking for, I'm not sure, but deals are definitely out there to be found. So, that does it for today's top 5 most insanely expensive Sega Dreamcast games, parentheses that I own. Do you own any of these games? Or worse, did you own any of these games when you were younger and part with them for just a couple bucks? Leave a comment below, subscribe for more gaming content, and once again, please leave a like behind if you enjoyed this video.